Hi there, Jane here from Radiant Heart Yoga and welcome to this tutorial. So it's a short video preparing your body and talking you through the key actions and alignments of upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana in Sanskrit. And this is particularly great video for me to be doing. For me it's like a celebration, because I broke my wrist like 8.5 months ago, and then I had a plate put in, and then I've had the plate taken out, and it's been a really difficult period. And the upward facing dog was a pose that I just couldn't do after it happened. So for me, I've been working my way back into it in terms of wrist mobility and arm strength and everything. So I'm going to really enjoy doing this, because I've not, up until a few days ago, I've not been able to do upward facing dog for like nearly 9 months. So we're going to start by gradually building up some back bends so that the back bend is progressive in your spine. So you're trying to bring the vertebrae in your spine closer together as you make more of a curve, and at the same time the front of your body is going to have to open and stretch to give you that space to do that. But all the way through you're still going to be keeping that little bit of core engagement. So this is how I have brought upward facing dog back into my practice. So I've been starting with Sphinx pose, so that I get the engagement in my legs, and I just start to stretch the front of the chest forwards by pulling back with my elbows. I'm keeping the backs of my legs engaged, but they are going to stay on the floor, and not the backs, the fronts are going to stay on the floor. So I'm just maybe the knees lifting up, so I'm engaging the back, and then I'm squeezing around my sit bones here, the top of my thighs, so that the lower part of my glutes is engaged, and that's going to support my lower back. So I am still lengthening my tailbone, and I am still engaging my core a little bit by cinching it around the waist and lifting my belly away from the floor. And I would hold that for maybe 2-3 minutes. I would hold that for, and then taking the hands wider. So these are like yin yoga poses, well, Sphinx poses, but this is called seal pose. So then I would start to straighten my arms, so it's a little bit more load bearing through the arms and into the wrists and the hands. So I'm wrapping my biceps in, rolling my triceps back, hugging my arms in towards one another, lifting my gaze a little bit, but it's the same action in the legs. So I'm engaging the backs of the legs, cinching in around the waist, pulling my belly up, and even maybe pulling back with the hands a tiny bit, so just a little bit of internal engagement there. And then maybe not stay for 2 or 3 minutes, but at least a minute, maybe 2 minutes here. And then when you're done with that, we're going to come into cobra. So upward facing dog is like cobra, but you've got your legs lifted off the floor apart from your feet. So taking your hands back by your ribs, I'm just beginning to build up your cobra pose, Bhujangasana. So pushing your feet into the floor, keeping the legs active, and then squeezing around your sit bones to press the front of your pelvis into the floor, and then lifting your belly, so you've still got that engagement. And then your elbows need to hug in. You don't want your elbows to splay out, and you want to lift your shoulders away from the floor, so you've not got internal rotation of the shoulder, you've got external rotation of the shoulder. And then on an inhale, keeping all of that, you're going to press with your hands and lift. Stay for a couple of breaths, and then slowly lower down. So you want to be using back strength here, and you can test that out by lifting into your cobra and just floating your hands off the floor. So as long as you're still engaging those same muscles, you can just come a little bit higher by pushing down into your hands, but you're still making sure that you are using the muscles in your back body to lift you. And then maybe coming onto your fingertips. So this is the next stage. So that as you come into your cobra, you get a little bit more height and you increase the load bearing down through your arms and into your hands. And then rolling back down. And you can take that wider. So you're lifting your elbows up. And then as you come up, your elbows pull back to help you, can you see, to externally rotate the shoulder. Same alignment through the legs. And then slowly come back down. And then bringing your hands back where they were initially, turning your hands out a tiny bit so your index fingers face forwards. And then what I'm going to do is slide my hands back so that my hands are my wrists are underneath my elbows. So I'm trying to make a right angle here. So if you came into your cobra pose, this would be a very, very high cobra. Can you see? So in cobra, you do not straighten your arms. So your elbows are pulling back and you're just getting more of the back bend. Slowly come down. So I'm going to keep my hands there, but now I'm going to come into up dog. So the arms are going to straighten and my pelvis is going to lift away from the floor. So pushing my feet down, same engagement, rolling the shoulders back, and I'm going to lift up. Let's get my hands equal. And then I can always come forwards a little bit, but can you see the difference? So the arms are straight, but I'm still externally rotating the shoulders and pulling my chest forwards. But the action through the legs is the same. And then slowly lower down. Okay. So the way that you would come into upward facing dog, once you've practiced your upward dog and you know you've got the strength to hold yourself up, is through chaturanga, and that's a whole different tutorial, chaturanga. But you would normally come into it through chaturanga. So I'll just show you what that looks like. But then if you need to develop the strength in your arms to do chaturanga, then that's a different tutorial. So, and it's these poses, downward facing dog, plank, pose, into chaturanga, and then up to upward facing dog forms the connecting vinyasas between your flows in your practice. So coming up to your downward facing dog. So I'm just really showing you what you're working towards to bring this into your practice on a regular basis. So you flow forwards to plank pose, and then from here rock a little bit further forward, bend your elbows, and then roll up into your upward facing dog, and then back to downward facing dog. So that's like your connecting vinyasa, and that's what you're building up towards. So I hope that this has been useful, and please, you can comment below, you can let me know if you've got any suggestions for any other tutorials. I'm always trying to think of things that I can share with you. So I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope it was of value to you. Keep practicing and enjoy. I hope you enjoy your upward facing dog as much as I do. So I'll see you on the next video.